सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। At the outset, first I thank many people who could make this program happen, and you all gathered to understand the postgraduate program of Vedanta. Gurudev calls it as postgraduate, which also an assumption that you are all graduated. Graduation means gradually growing. You cannot walk into a Kathopanishad class and say, "Come on, tell me what it is." I remember very distinctly first time when I heard this Upanishad, very green in my memory. In the year 1990, Gurudev came to our Bangalore center, Chinmaya Mission, Bangalore. I was a youth secretary at that time. Sorry, it is 89. 89. I was the youth secretary at that time. I was given most of the charges to conduct and organize a spiritual camp in a place outside the city limits. Lot of work to be done, the day and night, before Gurudev arrived. Around 300 delegates at that time, for them to stay, food and transport, many other things. And I had a band of youth who were working with me. And then the day of inauguration, it was in the morning, early morning, around 6 o'clock, 6:30. And I was very much tired. Until previous night, I was working. Swamiji's talks were Kathopanishad in the morning, two sessions, and evening was on Gita in another part of the city where buses were arranged for the delegates to reach there, and then for the public as well. So all arrangements were to be done. And so by late evening I was very tired, and then I couldn't get up in time. But however, I woke up, took shower, made sure that breakfast things are taken care, and then by the time I reached, Gurudev had already started his talks. In the beginning, just he was introducing. So the hall was like this, a large hall, 300, 400 people could sit. And there were corridors in the side. So I slowly crawled because I know Gurudev would not like anyone to walk into this. That's why I was trying to say, you cannot walk into his room, his lecture. When he starts, you should not get in. I'm not saying that you should not, but you please come. But strictly speaking, you should not. So I was in the corridor. There were windows. So I didn't want to disturb him. So through the window, I was just looking at him. Gurudev started. In this class, all of you are expected to have qualification of Viveka, discrimination, Vairagya, dispassion, Shama, Dama, Uparadi, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, and most importantly, Mumukshutvam, the eagerness to liberate yourself. And that very eagerness to liberate yourself should be coupled with humility, not arrogance. Humility expresses itself by submitting to the teacher and crawling into the class if it is late. So I was looking at, through the window, get in. So through the side door I got and sat down. That is what is called mumukshutvam. So expected is the graduation. I distinctly also remember his words. Whenever I opened Kathopanishad, his words ring in my ears. So I am here to share with you what I have heard almost 30 years back from Gurudev. Added to that is the wisdom given to us by Bhagavan Shankaracharya. When we say graduate class or postgraduate class, what we mean by that? Let us say your child is learning math, grade 1, or even nowadays, even from pre-KG onwards, they are introduced to concepts of math. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4. That is math as far as the child is concerned. Correct? What is math for the child? 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. But for a 4th grader, the math doesn't stop there. It goes into calculations. Then later on to formulae. As you graduate into the very subject called math, when it comes to a person who has become a graduate, math is abstract. Math is not just numbers. In the same way, Upanishads are not about fundamentals of Vedanta. Do good, be happy, do daily sadhana of puja, rituals, upasana. No. It is not about religion. It is not about religious practices. It is not about rituals. It is not about japa. It is not about karma yoga. It is not about social service. It is not about doing some good to the people. These are all at the graduate level. In the postgraduate level, it is where an individual understands the illusory nature of everything around. Therefore, Upanishad directly deals with something which is so profound. In the case of upasanas, which are mentioned in our Vedas as well, it is known as Vakta Pradhana. Who is teaching you is very important there. If you are getting initiated into a mantra for you to do japa, more than the mantram, who is giving you the mantram is important. If in the army, a commander general has an authority to command, not a soldier. The soldier says, attention. So who are you to tell me? Whereas the commander general says, attention. Definitely, all others below his ranks will have to obey it. Similarly, mantras are those are commanded by the one who has done the upasana of it. You can also read Om Namah Shivaya, will have lesser power than a person who has done meditation and upasana on that and he gives to you. That's why it's called initiation, Diksha. Therefore, upasana is about Vakta Pradhanam. Kaun hai Vakta? Who is the giver? Who is the teacher? Whereas Upanishad is Vishaya Pradhan. It doesn't matter who is giving or who is discussing here, who is the teacher, who is the student. No, what is taught. What is taught here. That is the reason why Upanishads do not have authors. Because it doesn't matter. In Kathopanishad, you will not find a teacher there. Teacher is there, his name is not there. Ishavasya Upanishad. Teacher's name is not there. Why it is not there? Because it is not important. Vishaya Pradhana. So Upanishads are the abstract nature of the reality which cannot be comprehended by mere thinking. That is the reason why the discussions about this great reality in the Indian context or in the philosophy of India, there are many of them, they are known as darshanas. Seeing, how you see. For example, is it not true that math is numbers? And actually numbers are not visibly seen anywhere. Do you see numbers? If somebody asks, how many were there in the Upanishad class? Around 200, around 100, around 50, whatever number you give, but the number is not something perceived. Is it perceived? Somebody asked me this question just last week. I hope that person is here or not, I don't know. Swamiji, you are talking about God, and I was talking about chapter 9 last week on the Sunday. Why should we believe in that what you are saying? Is it that blind faith with which we have to listen to you, that there is something called God and then He created it, or He Himself is everything in this world, etc.? As far as I am concerned, he said, it's a fourth dimension. I can see the width, I can see the length, I can see the depth. These are the three dimensions. But the fourth dimension which you are talking about is not perceived by me. Therefore, it is only an idea in my mind which you are giving to me. What is the truth or proof of it? Can you prove it? The fourth dimension exists. So I said, calm down. For a child, when you are sending him to the school, when the child learns 1 plus 1 is 2, it's a fourth dimension for the child, is it not? When he comes back home, he asks the mother, where is 1? And where is 2? Is there a physical reality of 1 or physical reality of 2? Is it? Anybody who has done PhD in math? It is a way of looking at things. the way of understanding the arrangement of things. And India is the one which gave to the world something totally abstract called zero. Think about it. What is zero? You are a hero if you know it. What is zero? Can non-existence, if you consider zero as non-existence, that is not there, can it be taken as reality? But in Hinduism, zero is a very important number. Why? Because that zero is not absence, zero is complete. Pujyam Purnam. That's the reason we chant Purnam Ataha. Purnam Idam. It is not absence, it is inclusive of all which has no dimension. When you look at Shivalinga, it is Purnam, it is complete, it is round in shape, representing zero. Not it is not there, it is there, his dimensions cannot be understood. This is the abstractness which I would like you to understand. It is often true when you go to any place, any party or any gathering, and the host will always ask if you go alone, if you are a lady host, where is your husband? Or if you are a man, where is your wife? Or if both are there, where are your children? Who is not there only they will ask. Is it not true? When I shaved my hair, where are you? Where is your hair? Somebody went and said, I lost my weight. Where is it? It's lost, no? How will you see it? That's a poor joke, of course. I don't see your lost weight. Yeah, you can't see it because I lost it. So, now you see, zero is more prominent by its absence. What is not there, in the Sunday class also I was talking about, what is not there, known to be not there, only if you have seen it there before. Hope you are following it. If you don't have a wife at all, meaning if you are single, either divorced or if you are single, you are not married at all, then nobody would ask, where is your wife? Hi. So what is zero then? Is it absence or non-existence? There is a difference. Absence is not being present for me to comprehend. Non-existence means it was not there at all, like horn on my head. Is it there? Horns on my head. Is it there? Don't say not yet seen. It was not there at all. Therefore, the concept of creation from the standpoint of Upanishad is from unmanifest to manifest. Going back to unmanifestation alone. Therefore, creation is not having an origin. It is a cycle. Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachade Purnat Udachade. It comes into being. Becomes the same Purnam again. This understanding of Upanishads opens up a new way of thinking. Which means creation and destruction is not one time happening. It's a constant phenomena. And therefore the creation, what we see as the world, is called Vivarta. Vivarta means Vividam Vartate. Ek hi hai. One alone is there. Appears to have, manifesting as many. when it doesn't manifest, it merges itself to that one which is imperceptible. When it starts to become manifest, it is a perceptible world. Again goes back to unmanifestation, manifestation, unmanifestation. And the science comes to recognize this now. When he says the cosmos is shrinking, into what? Or cosmos is expanding to where? Every day happening in our life also. Now you are all awake, most of you. When at the end of the day, where do you go? As far as the world is concerned, you don't exist to transact with. You may exist as physical reality, but you are not available for me to transact. Where do you go? To yourself. Where? You don't manifest anymore as an individual. Is it not? Even your husband and wife, they get into their own unmanifest condition. Only to manifest again next morning. So if you can understand this, the whole creation is nothing but a constant cycle of unmanifest to manifest, manifest to unmanifest. Now the question is, manifestation is variety. In the unmanifest condition, what is its reality? What is it? This abstractness of the reality exists but not perceptible is to be understood. And it is not an external thing to perceive it, to perceive. It is something which is inherently present in all of us. So Upanishad's role is to make us realize what is perceived as the world as external manifestation. Ultimately, its center is you. Into you it merges. Mayyeva sakalam jadam, mayi sarvam pradishtitam, mayi sarvam layam yadi. Everything is born from within, exists in me and merges back into me, Upanishad says. That requires the individual, the student, to be a postgraduate ready person. It is no more about sitting and doing a particular nama japa or doing a particular ritual, so to say, or a upasana or some vrata, some feast, some fasting, or visiting some temples, singing some bhajans, doing some social service. It requires a different mindset. Having said this, it doesn't mean all other things are not required. But their importance is less. One grows out of it. One graduates from that need. One's purity is such that I do not need to do to quieten my mind. My mind is naturally quiet, spontaneously, effortlessly quiet. Therefore, I am ready for contemplation, ready to understand the abstract nature of the self. If I ask you the question, 322 plus 342, what is the answer? Huh? 322 plus 342? 644. You have been thinking about it? Did you think about it? How did the answer come? How did the answer come? You have been repeating it in your mind all the time. The answer came because you already thought about it. Not exact numbers, but you know what it means. As soon as I said 322 in your head, it started. Then 342, tadak, then 644. You didn't say 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 4, 3 plus 3 is 6. That's a child does in his hand. In the same way, when it is said satyam, ahimsa, brahmacharyam, it is not anymore a practice. It is not that I have to practice Satya. It is not that you say, from morning 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I am planning to practice Satyam. After that, what happened? After that, I give up. It is not a habit. It has become natural to that person to be that. That's why I took the example of math. It is not something you have to think about. It is not something you have to practice. Yes, practice and thinking about is necessary at the level when you are graduating. Just like a child has to remember the table. But when it comes to a postgraduate section, it's all about everything that happens in one's mind. Is it not? The way one looks at it. So, with that background, when we open up this Upanishad, the very word Upanishad, Shankaracharya beautifully puts in his commentary. It is coming from the root word Sad. Sad. Sad means to stay, seat. But it has three meanings, original meanings. Visharana, Gati, and Avacheda. With two prefixes, Upa and Ni. So the first Upa means to go near, Samipe. Ni means Nichaya. Nichaya means Nischayam Krutva Adarena, with respect. A person approaches the knowledge with total respect to that knowledge. Then only it is Upanishad. Or approaches the teacher who is going to teach with utmost reverence. Upa Ni. Samipe Nischayam Krutva Nichaya Sad. When he or she sits to learn, three things that happen. One is, first is called Visharana. So, where the individual who is preoccupied with impurities of thinking, especially ignorance, gets destroyed. What I do not know, which I am supposed to know, comes to become comprehended. Second is Gati. One is shown what is the final goal to reach. And the third one is where an individual is no more subject to suffering the continuous birth and death cycle starts. But here there is a story. What is the story is about? Why a student seeks this knowledge. What makes him? And who is the one who is qualified to give this knowledge? Both the quality of a student and quality of the teacher as given here in the form of a story. Then the conversation starts. Whenever there is a story, we are all eager, People like Katha. That's why in movies also, there is a documentary, there is a story. If you are going to see a documentary, you can stop anytime and go and have a coffee. But it's a story. You are engrossed. That's why we like the Ramayana Katha and the Bhagavad Katha and then whatnot. So here also there is a Katha. But the story part is very small part of the Upanishad. The philosophy is the maximum here. And many scholars have believed that the inspiration for Vyasa to give out that Gita came from many verses from this Upanishad. We'll see that when it comes there. So, Katha Upanishad. Why it is called Katha Upanishad? Because it has the story associated with that. All right. So, Visharana, Gati, and avasadanam. These are the important outcome of understanding Upanishad. Visharana means where the ignorance is destroyed. Gati is moksha gati, the realization of the highest reality is shown. And Visharana is, avasadana is where the loosening of the suffering out of birth and death takes place. With that very background, we will start the Shanti mantra here. We have already chanted it. This is a standard Shanti mantra we do in especially Chinmaya Mission gathering. We say this particular Shanti mantra. We'll read again here. I think whichever page number 1 maybe. Gurudev has given a very good introduction before that. You may go through that when you get time. He is given an introduction to Upanishads. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. A Shanti mantra, peace invocation it is called. When you want peace, you have to invoke it. When you do not want peace, you have to, let us say you want to get angry, etc., you have to provoke it. That's the difference between invocation and provocation. Invocation means that which is happening from within. Provocation is that which is happening from outside. I was provoked by his statement. Isn't it? I am provoked to get angry. When you say, what it means is negativities in us are triggered by something outside. Purity in us is triggered by from within. Shanti is to be invoked. You can easily provoke people by saying wrong things, but very difficult to invoke peace. And therefore, when one is sitting for studying anything, something of this nature, we have to invoke peace. This particular Shanti mantra comes to us from Yajurveda. And Chinmaya Mission is connected to Sringeri Mat, Shankaracharya's parampara, and where the Veda that was given to them to propagate by Shankaracharya is Yajurveda. Therefore, Chinmaya Mission, we take Sahana Vavatu as the Shanti mantra. That is a connection. The word Om, as you all know, it is there in this chart also, is a symbolic representation of highest reality. As Gurudev would call it as X factor. In math, X is a number whose value we do not know. Anything unknown, X. Any value you can put and then find out whether it is right or not. Similarly, Om represents the highest reality whose dimensions and pervasiveness we just cannot comprehend. So, invocation starts with submitting to that highest reality, Om. Saha means together. Saha. Naha, we both. Avatu, be protected. Saha now avatu becomes Sahana Vavatu. Similarly, Saha now Bhunaktu. Bhunaktu is, one is called Avatu, another is called Bhunaktu. Both appear to be of the same meaning. One is called Rakshanam, another is called Palanam. Protection and preservation. You may think that both are same. Rakshanam cha Palanam cha. What is Rakshanam? Protection. And what is preservation? Poshan karna. Let us say that your child is playing out in the outside the house, and you suddenly find the neighbor's dog is coming anywhere closer to the child, somewhere closer to the child, and you are watching it. What do? You immediately go and grab the child away from that animal to protect. Correct? That is called Rakshanam. That Rakshanam, protection, is referred here as Avatu. In our mind, there are many things that are happening, and especially we should protect ourselves from wrong influences. So when the teacher and the student both are ready to learn this greatest knowledge, may my mind not be affected by the impurities that are already within us, which may come up. Anger, frustration, depression, old memories, anything that may come and affect my mind. So the teacher and the taught together, they say, may we both be protected from any kind of wrong influences from within or without. Saha now Avatu. O Lord, may we be protected. Bhunaktu means, on the other hand, Poshanam. You bring the child from the road when he is playing, and then you found that animal or the dog, immediately bring him. Don't go anywhere there. Did you eat? Did you drink your milk? No. How? So take him and then give him, because that fellow is not at all interested. He wanted to go back to play. You will get tired. Drink. So you may give a cup of milk. That is called Poshanam. Preserving. Preserving his energy, making him strong, making him have more and more physical, strength and energy. This part is called Bhunaktu. May we both have enough energy to continue this learning, and that is possible only when the knowledge is understood in its beauty. So may we both have the energy to learn this. May this very knowledge itself give us the great enthusiasm. Saha now Bhunaktu. May we both protect ourselves and also grow in our understanding. Let us have the energy and the joy and the enthusiasm to learn. Both be bliss of knowledge. That's what I say. Bless us with bliss of knowledge. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu. The teacher is constantly looking at the student whether his face is brightening up or not. And as he teaches, he becomes, that means he's not enjoying it. That's why your wife also, after giving you food, look at your face, whether you are enjoying it or not. One fellow went to a restaurant and he said, I want breakfast. So the person there, yes, what kind of a breakfast do you want? I have a menu. He looked at the menu. No, I want to order my own special breakfast. What special breakfast? I want the dosa to be burned. and idli to be like a stone, and coffee should be, milk should be stale, smelling. See, we don't make like kind of a breakfast for you specially. You did yesterday. So the wife is very careful. How is he eating this? Even if you don't say anything, is it good or bad? You tell me now. And that fellow usually has been, yeah, it's good. Because his mind is not there at all anyway. That's a frustration of all wives. Why eating? What are you thinking? So here, the teacher is constantly watching the face of the student, and if it doesn't brighten up, he said, he didn't understand this. Let me put it in some other way. Until his face, I got it. Okay, let's move to the next one. That's why it is a physical interaction between the guru and Shishya is very important. Skype में देखेंगे, Zoom link. You will never have that affinity, the closeness. You need to see the student in the eye to find out whether he is understood or not. Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu. And in this knowledge, there should be enough effort to be put by both the teacher and the taught. Viryam karavavahai. Viryam, effort. Certain amount of exertion is necessary. Knowledge cannot happen on its own. And it's not the student is saying, challenging the teacher, come on, try to teach me. Taking it. So many people tried, you will also try. It's not the teacher is exerting himself to teach. The student has to put equal effort or more. Viryam karavavahai. The required amount of expenditure of energy. And when we saw Gurudev, how much enthusiasm with which he would teach, in spite of the fact that his art was failing, physical body was failing, but he would not stop. Unending enthusiasm, unending amount of energy, continuously working, 18 hours, 19 hours. And when he gets into a room to take rest, when he comes out, he is like a flower just opened up. Yes, chalo, next. At the age of 70, when I saw him, he was looking like a 20-year-old. Because of that enormous amount of enthusiasm. That is called virya. By the time you ask your children, by the time they're 25, I am tired, bored. I wonder how this tiredness and boredness can come to them at the age of 20, 25. And nowadays we have all the amount of various facilities are there, even by traveling, for communicating. In spite of the fact, tired. We are not even walking towards the school, being dropped, picked up. The fellow comes out to the school and stands, picked up. Goes to the home, dropped. From house, picked up, dropped. How can you be tired? Tired. And after some time, they are retired. Again tired. So, viryam karavavahai. Together we should put effort. Let us exert together. And interestingly, this part, Tejasvi now adhitamastu. Now we both, Tejasvi, adhidam Tejasvi bhavatu arastu. Adhitam, whatever is studied, whatever is understood, whatever is heard, It should not just disappear. As Gurudev would say, there should not be any cross ventilation. You hear, you go away. So what you should, after hearing this lecture, you take cotton, put inside, so that it stays inside. That's why our children always wear this. Stay inside, stay inside. Adhitam, Dita, thought of, contemplated, heard, understood. Adhitam, learnt. Adhitam, Tejasvi astu. Be bright. Let it be available. What is the brightness of knowledge? Knowledge, when it is available, becomes bright. Just not heard and forgotten. But when it is heard and it is used whenever is necessary or made it as a practice, it becomes Tejasvi. You walk into that room, a temple, and lamps are there, not lit. They are not Tejasvi. Many houses you will find lamps are there. No oil, no wick. Decoration ke liye. But when you put the wick there, oil there, and light it up, that is what is called lamp. Is it not? In the same way, intellect by itself is not intelligence. You may have a lot of store of information. As Gurudev would say, children are not vessels to be filled, but lights to be lit. You have to light up that knowledge. That is called Tejasva. Tejasvi astu. Adidam Tejasvi astu naha. Whatever is we heard, that let it be staying there brightly. And then ma vidvishavahai. May we not hate each other. There are possibilities that when the teacher says something, it is not acceptable to the student, or the student's behavior and character sometimes may not be acceptable to the teacher. But that should not come to interrupt the education or knowledge. Nobody is perfect. We can't expect everybody around us to be perfect. It won't be. And if you expect, you get depressed. My son is like this, Swamiji, what to do? I wanted to say, it is after all your son, what do you expect? But they don't like that answer. Every parent wants the children to be ideal, but it doesn't happen. Ma vidvishavahe. The student should not expect the teacher to be absolutely perfect, no mistakes at all. Then you will be God only. Why is he on earth? Dvesha is kind of hatred. But this thing is, the nature of hatred is that it first burns you before it burns anybody else. It is like you take a vessel of water, put it on the stove and light up the stove or start the stove. Okay? Where does it start heating up first? The vessel. Right? Before the water gets heated up, the vessel gets heated up. In the same way, the one who has dvesha gets heated up first before it really becomes effective on whom you have the dvesha. Anger is like that. The person who is angry is the first victim. And then only it spreads to the next person. So if I am angry on someone, when I start shouting, who is getting agitated here? The person who has anger first. Can I say, I hate you, Really, I hate you. You can't say it with a smile. I hate you. And who is getting disturbed here now first? So the teacher and the taught, both of them, keep aside your hatred on any account. Adveshta sarva bhutana. First thing the student should have, expected to have, is no dvesha. But it is difficult, no doubt. But while in the study of the Upanishad, may this hatred about anything, especially with the teacher, and the teacher towards the taught, there should not be any hatred. There are differences of opinion. Who doesn't have? But that should not come in gaining this knowledge. So, sahana bhavatu, may we be protected. Sahanau bhunaktu, may we be nourished by the knowledge. Sahaviryam karavavahai, may we exert together. Tejasvina atitamastu, may what is heard be brilliant. Ma vidvishavahai, may we not hate each other. And it says, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gurudev would say that Shanti in a correct way. Shanti, loud. Shanti, mediocre. Shanti. Meaning, Adi Daivika Shanti, Adi Bhautika Shanti, Adhyatmika Shanti. May there be no disturbance from the Daivik forces like calamities, like earthquake and storm and whatnot, not human created. Adi Bhautika Shanti, may there be no disturbances from the people and the beings around us. Adhyatmika Shanti means may there be no disturbance within my head. This is one thing which you have understood. But Shravana Kale, at the time when we are thus engaging in the study of the scriptures, here, especially when we are seated here, when I am also doing Shravanam, you are also doing Shravanam along with me. So, in this process of listening to these teachings of the Upanishad, when you have come to sit here, there should be three kinds of Shanti you should maintain. Sthula Shanti, Sukshma Shanti, and Karana Sharir Shanti. Here. When you go for a break in another few minutes, when you come back, your seat is occupied by somebody else. And if you get agitated, that is called, you lack Sthula Shanti. How dare you sit in this place where I was sitting? Sthula Shanti, Shanti. The idea is when you're sitting here, it is your seat, no doubt, but you don't own it. Do you own it? This is my seat. So when you're sitting there also, your attention is to what is going on, how do I read, how do I listen and understand. Don't worry about what others are doing. So Sthula Sharira, at the physical body, do not get disturbed. Sit quietly and then make sure that you have taken enough rest. Not during the, but before that, before you come or whatever, or eaten properly. Don't let there not be hunger when you are sitting and learning. And don't worry about this will I had tea and then I can smell it even now. Don't worry about it. Just be with yourself. Don't get worried. Sukshma Sharira Shanti is let your mind be here. When you are listening, let it be here. I hope Swamiji finishes in time, He's usually, always late, I think he's. And after the 10 o'clock I think I can sneak out. I think I should sit behind actually. And I can slowly sneak out to do something else. So your mind is not here. So if the mind is here, that is called Sukshma Shanti. And the purpose for which we are here is Karana Sharira Shanti, to get rid of ignorance, to get rid of our avidya, get rid of our misunderstanding, get rid of all our wrong notions, get rid of our wrong conclusion about ourselves. So ignorance should be made Shant. And that is possible only when we are clear about the purpose for which we have come here. So Sukshma, Stula, Sukshma and Karana Shanti, Karana Sharir Shanti. This is why Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So thus we have started the Upanishad with the Shanti mantra. We'll start the Upanishad mantras as we come back. Page number 3, we'll come back. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketasena cha. This is how Shankaracharya begins his commentary. Both the teacher here, Mrityu, death, the lord of death, and Nachiketas, the student. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahmavidya Acharyaya Nachiketase cha. It is to say, I salute both the student and the teacher. The teacher is Vaivasvata. In Gita also we find Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manurikshakave Abravit. In 4th chapter, this knowledge has been imparted to Vivaswan, son. Vivaswan. Imam Vivasvate, Imam, this very knowledge, Yogam, he calls it as yoga. Then Vivaswan Manave Praha. He gave to the first human king called Manu. Manuhu Ikshvaku. Manu gave to Ikshvaku. And Sri Rama's parampara is called Surya Vamsha. Krishna's parampara is known as Chandra Vamsha. In Surya Vamsha, because Bhagavan Rama is born at the midday, Krishna was born in midnight. So Surya Vamsha Uditavan Ramaha, Chandra Vamsha Uditavan Krishnaha, Tasmat, therefore is night. So the Surya Vamshi, Yama is also considered as a Surya Vamshi. So he is called Vaivasvata. That's why Manvantara is called Vaivasvata Manvantara. Vivaswan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahmavidya Acharyaya, to the one who is the teacher of Brahmavidya. But for the human world, the one who has received this knowledge through this discourse is Nachiketas. So therefore, Shankaracharya salutes both the Mrityu, the teacher who is from Suvarloka or Yamaloka, and the Martyaloka, Manushaloka Acharya Nachiketas. My salutation to Nachiketas also. Not many people keep the name Nachiketas, even though it's such a nice name. But even your pet name, you can Nachika hota hai. So therefore, probably people are not interested. In Sanskrit, Chikitsa, Chiketa means doubt. In this very Upanishad also, comes that particular word. Ayam vichikitsa, this kind of a doubt is there in the human world. Ayam prete vichikitsa manushye astityeke nayamastiti cha eke etat vidyamanushishtastvayaham varanam eshah varastritiyah. This doubt is there in the human being, is there any life beyond death? So it's called doubt. Chiketas. One who finally ends in the knowledge which is doubtless is Nachiketas. So all of us should become Nachiketas at the end of it. Nachiketas become Nachiketa. Nachiketah, masculine. So here the intention is, the knowledge is that which should remove all samshayas. Samshayatma otherwise vinashriti. A doubting Tamas will perish. So knowledge should become doubtless. Only a doubtless knowledge can take you to meditation. If you doubt something, it will keep you wondering and not further proceed, right? So if you have a samshaya or unclear knowledge, that will not allow you to meditate. I'm sitting and thinking, but I'm sure, is it sure that it is there? So if you have the doubt, you will not be able to focus. So we all should become Nachiketas. At the end of this scripture, reading and understanding, contemplating, we should all become doubtless in this knowledge. And removal of doubt is the most important task a teacher does. In the case of Gita also, how many doubts Krishna has been posed by Arjuna. One by one, he keeps on removing it. At the end, he says, Nashto mohaha. Now I am clear about these things. So here, Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvate Mrityave Brahmavid Acharyaya Nachiketase cha. Now we'll read the first verse. Pratamavalli, verse number 1. Please repeat after me. Ushan havai vachasravasah sarva vedasam dadau tasya ha nachiketa nama putra asa. Upanishads are mantras, not shlokas. Shloka is set to meters, mantras are not necessarily. The very definition of a mantra is mananat trayate iti mantra. That which is making you cross the barriers of the mind. Mananat trayate, to cross. So that which crosses the mind or goes beyond the mind. It's like a boat that you take to cross the river. In the same way, mantras are there to cross the barriers of thoughts. So Upanishad mantras are not necessarily set to any meter. That's why we find it as a statement. Unlike Gita, where you sing in a particular meter, chandas. So here, Ushan havai vachasravasah sarva vedasam dadau tasya nachiketa nama putra asa. So here, there was a person whose name was Vachasravas. In Sanskrit, Vaja means food. Vaja is food. One who gave food and he became famous. Shravas. Shravaha means fame. Yashas ityartaha. One who became famous by giving food became Vachasravas. So Vajaha Danam. The one who gave Vaja or the food as a dana. Therefore, he has become famous. But this particular person, who is the character right now here, he gave the food out of charity, no doubt, but his intention of giving was not selfless. Therefore, he is introduced as Ushan Havai. Ushat means desire. Desiringly, one who is seeking or desiring to go to heaven, and therefore he did the meritorious act of giving food. And most of our rituals, when we perform, even the priest who is initiating you to perform that very ritual, he gives a huge sankalpa. So becomes Ayuhu, Arogya, Aishwarya, Vivartirtam, Samasta Buddha Upashantirtam, Samasta Mangalavaptirtam, Samasta Disasaptirtam, Car Praptirtam, iPhone Praptirtam, iPad Praptirtam, latest smartwatch Praptirtam. It goes on like that. It's about Prapti, about something I want to get out of this. That is called Ushat. Very rarely we say Jnana Bhakti Vairagya Siddhyartham. So that's why when we do our puja, that specifically we say that you may have this, but most important thing that you need to ask from Bhagavan is Jnana Bhakti or Vairagya. But we don't do that. If you go to a temple and then ask for the priest to do any puja, he will give you what sankalpa you have. You have one more daughter to get married. That's what they will ask. What is your purpose of doing the puja? That is added in that sankalpa. So therefore here the Vachasrava was also a man of desire. Ushan Havai, ha means indeed. Ha and Vai are both to indicate indeed he had this desire, though he was offering food. Ushan Havai Vachasravasaha. What did he do? Sarva Vedasam Dadao. In a particular ritual which he was performing, as Gurudev writes in his commentary, the Vishwajit Yaga he was doing. This Vishwajit Yaga is done usually by a king after a victorious defeat of a kingdom, and he came victoriously. So Vishwajit. It is also performed by sannyasins before they take to sannyasa. Giving up all things. I have no more connection with anything I possess. I have been possessing. So here in this context, this particular person, he was giving up everything for the sake of attaining the highest punya. But unfortunately, he had so much of desire to reach there. Not Vairagyena. Ushan Have Vachasravasaha Sarva Vedasam. All that he had, Dadao, he gave. In our culture, Dhanam, giving, must have a particular parameter given. Deshe kalecha patrecha yaddhanam tad dhanam satvikam smrutam. दान देना है तो आपको फर्स्ट व्हाट यू हैव टू सी किस देश में दे रहा हूं, व्हाट देश है, व्हाट प्लेस आई एम गिविंग, किसको दे रहा हूं, कब दे रहा हूं, when am I giving, where am I giving, to whom am I giving. This needs to be understood, and then you give. It is called dharma dhanam. When you are doing any kind of dhanam which is to be regarded as dharma, must include where, when, to whom, for what purpose you are giving. with appropriate understanding of this thing you give, it has become dharma. That's why in our rituals, they insist on the time. When are you doing this sacrifice? Which planetary positions are there present to bless you? Which place you are doing this yajna yagadi karma? Right? That's why it's a dharma. But when it comes to another category called bhakti dhana, जो आप भक्ति से आप दे रहे हो, doesn't matter, आप ईश्वर के लिए दे रहा है ना. It is not giving to human being. You are giving to Bhagavan. So there is no need for looking at Desha, Kala and Patra. You don't need to look at time or place or Patra, means who is recipient. Bhagavan. So, of Bhakti Bhav, if you are living with devotion, giving with devotion, it doesn't matter who is the receiver. Bhagavan also says, give. Whatever you give, patram, pushpam, palam, toyam, yomi bhaktya prayachati. So, bhakti dhan, it is not necessary for you to worry about desha, kala and patra. The third category is called jnana dhanam. Jnana dhanam is where chitta shuddhyartham, jnana praptyartham. So, the knowledge, giving the knowledge is not desha, kala, patra. It is not Ishvara Prityartham, it is Manas Shuddhyartham. Purity of mind, Ajnana Nivrityartham, to remove ignorance. Here, this particular individual is giving Dharmadhanam for the sake of attaining heaven. Therefore, he, while giving, he makes some mistakes. Sarva Vedasam, whatever he had, Sarvam, whatever he had, he has been giving, but he had his own reservations. He happened to have a boy, a son, his name is Nachiketa. Tasya Nachiketa nama putra asa. There was a son whose name is Nachiketa. So two characters are already introduced. One is Vachasravasaha, another is Vachasravas is a son of Vajasravas. So it's like Dasharatha Putra, Dasharatha. Vajasravas Putra is Vajarasas. Now, when he was giving, the boy was watching what is being given to the Brahmanas by his father. So next verse. Tam ha kumaram santam dakshinasu niyamanasu shraddha vivesha somanyata. Tam kumaram santam. When the persons are being dakshinasu niyamanasu, dakshinas, the offering that is being given to the brahmanas are called dakshina. I always say this, there is a difference between dhanam and dakshina. Dhanam you give out of sympathy, dakshina you give out of gratitude. So the brahmanas who perhaps performed the sacrifices for him, he was thankfully giving them a honorarium. That's called dakshina. And dakshinas are those days are not physical, some wealth, money, etc. It is mostly cattle. Niyamanasu, being taken away, carried away, given away. Niyamanasu dakshinasu, being distributed at that time. Tam kumaram santam, that boy was present. And the boy was not a even though young one, Kumara means young. Not youth, not Bala. Bala is innocent. Youth is arrogant. This is the difference. Praudoham yauvanastha. Prouda means one who is very arrogant. But here he is not a proud youth, nor he was a Bala who is innocent, who not learnt anything. Kumara. Kumara Vayas. Between the age 8 to 14, before he became a teen, more or less. When your child become teen, you need more protein to handle them. So this boy was not a Balaka, not Yuvaka, Kumar. And such a boy was well educated and mature in his learning. Therefore, in his heart, there happened an overwhelming Shraddha, faith. Shraddha avivesha. Avivesha, wish to enter. Vishati, entering in, overwhelming. Avivesha. It came overwhelmingly to him, Shraddha. Shraddha on what? Shraddha on what he has heard from the scriptures. It so happened his father himself was the teacher. And what he taught and what he is doing, there is a big gap. His Shraddha is more on the knowledge, and my father is not doing things in the same way as he is supposed to do. If this yajna has to be complete in all respect, it has to be complete with this dhanam, which should be given where an individual does not have anything more to possess. So he had a Shraddha. The word about Shraddha, as Gurudev writes in his commentary, is often misunderstood. It is not a blind faith. Shastreshu Guruvakyeshu Satya Buddhi Avadharana Shraddha. Shankaracharya defines it. Shastreshu in the scriptures, Guruvakyeshu in the words of the teacher, Satya Buddhi Avadharana. What is Satyam, and that you hold on, that is called Shraddha. It is not a blind belief. It is not make-believe things. It is not unmindfully accepting. When we unmindfully accept something, it becomes our mata, opinion. That's why in most Indian languages, a religion is referred as matam. A mata. Mata means my opinion. A collection of people, when they have a particular opinion, it becomes a norm. It becomes a religion. But whereas Shraddha is where you test the truth of it. Then only it is. As our Guruji would say, in life you should stand for something, otherwise you will fall for everything. Unless I have a particular understanding on which I firmly stand, I am very likely become volatile and weak, and I fall for everything. So here that is very important is Shastreshu Guruvakyeshu. Shraddhamayoyam Purushaha yoya Shraddha Sayeva Saha. In fact, we live in our life based upon what we have faith in. Somebody may have faith in the money. Somebody may have faith in political power. Somebody may have faith in some other various other achievements in life. And based upon that alone, our life moves. So here this boy had a Shraddha on, which is known as Shankaracharya writes, Astikya Buddhi. Brahman Asti Eva. Paramatma Asti. And that belief is called Astikya Buddhi. So here he was very worried about his father. So, Pitru Hitakamaya, because he was worried about the benefit that my father may not get out of giving things with the way he does, he had overcome with concern. Many people say, Swamiji, I am worried about my daughter. Whatever be the reason. I ask her, are you worried or concerned? Swamiji, you always put two words in my mind and I do not understand this. What is the difference? Because I try to distinguish this point. What is the difference between worry and concern? Worry is there when you know you can't do anything. Concern is where you know you can do, but you do not know how to go about it. I am concerned about you because you are not doing the way you are supposed to do. You can do it, but you are not doing it. That's a concern. Kya kare? Helpless. Then it is worry. Most of the time, we don't think about what can be done and we get into worry. When we become little careful, pause, what can be done now? Then it is concern. Yeah, कुछ करना है. अब कैसा करना है? कैसे मैं करूं? How do I do it now? That's concern. Now here the boy was not worried, he's concerned. How do I go about making my father know that he is not fulfilling the requirement there? He is not completing it properly. He is finished but not complete. What is the difference between finished and complete? You all know, that's why you are smiling. Many of you know, right? What is the difference between finished and complete? When you have the right spouse, you are complete. If you're not, you're finished. The moment the man said to the wife, you are the eighth wonder of the world. She was happy, no doubt, but she had a concern. Who are the 7 women? Who are other 7 women in your life? So why was he concerned? Because the kind of the cows that were being given away as a gift, their conditions are so bad. As he said in the next verse, Pito daka jagtatranaha dugdha doha nirindriyaha anandanamate lokaha tansa gacchati tadadat. The cows that are being given are the most dilapidated ones. Like in India, when you want to give it to the beggar, you take the old, oil-dipped, torn, patched 1 rupee note. Now I don't know whether 1 rupee note exists or not. And you can't even handle it. Give it. Dhan de raha hu. Arey bhai, if you are giving that charity, give it with joy and give it what? The best you can. Not the old dilapidated ones. One wife said to her husband, I like this wife and husband story, that's very interesting. He said, next time when I'm going to India, let me give all my clothes, which I'm not wearing, as, charity. So husband said, I don't think they need it. So what do you mean they don't need it? Because your size never will fit anybody there. It's so big. You are giving as a charity, how will it be fitting there? I think many of them won't even like this joke. Gurudev has to say in this, I distinctly remember when I was hearing to him. He gave the cows who have drunk the last drop of water in their life. Pita udakaha. Pidam udakam yaha. One who has drunk the last drop of water, because it cannot take any more water, it will die. It is so thin and emaciated. Pito udakaha. And last straw of grass they have eaten. Jagdadrana tranaha. Jagdam trinam. Trinam jagdam. Jagdam means has eaten. He said the last part of the food which can eat in his life. And last drop of milk has been milked away. Dugdha doha. Doha means milk. Dugdha has been milked. Any more you try, it will become utter failure. Not utter failure, utter failure. So the condition of these cows which he was giving was so pathetic. They were, even as they were walking, they were about to collapse. Pidodaka jagtatranaha dugdadoha nirindriyaha. They have lost all their senses. Aprajanana shilaha. Shankaracharya says they cannot anymore procreate. Once they cannot procreate, obviously milk won't be there. Now, what is the use of giving this? So when you give such a dhanam which cannot be used at all by anybody, what is the merit that you accrue? You won't accrue any merit at all. On the other hand, you will reach a place where there is no joy at all. Ananda namate lokaha. Tan sagacchati. Ta dadat. Ta. Those which are being given, dadat, one who gives those, saha, such a person, gacchati, goes where? Anandanamate lokaha tan gacchati. Tan lokan, those abodes where there is no ananda at all. Ananda means asukha. Asukam is what is called hell. Narakam ityartha. So the end result of this entire ritual ending in the charity of the cows, which is totally useless, will result in my father going to a place of unhappiness, not Swarga anymore. That is his concern. So he was overwhelmed by this, and he says, I have to do something about it. At least to inform him, show him. At the same time, he is his own teacher. Until this point, he has not reached the actual teacher to learn Brahma Vidya. He has been taught at home, homeschooling. So he said that let me probably tell him that this is not the right thing to do. So therefore, Saho vacha pitaram tata kasmai mam dasyasi iti dvitiyam tritiyam tam ho vacha mrityave tva dadamiti. Saha Nachiketa uvacha, he said, Pitaram uvacha. He said to his father, Hey Tata. Here Tata means, not Tata in Tamil, Tata means a grandfather. Oh dear father. Both Tata, when it is addressed, even the father can address the son as Tata also. Son also can address the father as Tata. Hey Tata, you are giving all that you possess. That's what you are supposed to do. And you are giving these old dilapidated cows. If you have to give all that you possess, whom are you giving me? Kasmai mam dasyasi. Whom will you give me? The father did not expect such a question from this boy. The story is getting interesting. Whom are you going to give me? So the boy had understood that the father is making a mistake of giving wrong things. It can be complete only when he gives his most possessed one, most lovable one, and that is me. And whom are you going to give me? His father was busy giving the cows and making sure that the Brahmanas are being. So when this he heard, the boy is asking, he didn't pay attention also. The boy is saying something. Dvitiyam, second time. Whom are you going to give me? Father looked at him. No, take. Tritiyam, third time. Whom are you going to give me? Anybody will get irritated, right? When you're driving somewhere from behind. Have we reached there? What is that called? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I read one cartoon. So mother is probably seriously cooking somewhere. Mom, 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 mom. She's very irritated. What do you want? So it's the most irritating. Why are you calling me so much? And then he's saying again, he's just laughing. In one house, the mother and the son, they were doing the dishes. And the father and the daughter, they were watching TV. Sitting and watching. And suddenly they heard a crash in the kitchen. Something fell and broke. After that, there was a silence. So the daughter told the father, it is my mother, it's my mother who broke something. So father said, how do you know? Because I didn't hear her shouting. So here, the father is getting irritated because this fellow kept on insisting, whom are you going to give me? Whom are you going to give me? Whom are you going to give me? Go to hell. Don't you say that? Go to hell. I mean, not necessarily you mean it, but you are irritated. So he says, Mrityave tvam dadami. I'll give you to death. Tva means tvam here. Mrityave tvam dadami. To mrityu I will give. When you say something in a place of worship, it is satyavak. You have to be careful what you are saying and where you are saying. If you say in a drawing room or if you say in a bar, it does absolutely no truth in that. It is just the opposite. If somebody fully drinks, you are the best friend I ever had in my life. Definitely it is not true. 100%. Why in our marriages at all, etc., we have to make sure the fire as a Agni, as a Sakshi, and then we declare that this is husband and wife? Because all others may deny, but Bhagavan, Agni is about witnessing it. You better don't tell me the wrong thing. In every tradition, when you have everybody gathered in the altar of the Lord, when you say, this is my husband or this is my wife, that is declared as a truth, right? Nowadays, they have destination weddings. Destiny wedding, hai bhai. What to do with destination wedding? In front of Bhagavan, in front of Agni, when you say something, it is true. Therefore, here it is so true, the boy had complete Shraddha. That my father, if he has said that go to death or I will send you to death, and he did at the altar, it cannot be altered. Not that he wanted to go to death, but it has been said by my father, and that word should become Satyam. So he didn't want to even doubt that statement. Even as he knew that his father did not mean it. Sometimes when out of irritation you may say that. But afterwards you say, no, actually I didn't mean it. But you said in the front of Bhagavan, you said in the front of the Lord, fire, you said in the altar. Therefore it is true. Pitru anishtam phalam maya nivaraniyam. When he said something and if it is not followed, it becomes anishtam phalam. Pitoho anishtam phalam maya nivaraniyam. I should annihilate or remove the unwanted result my father may have because of not following his words. Therefore, I should definitely go to Mrityu. So, even afterwards, the father may have said, sorry, but the boy is firm. You said it, not revengeful. It is not out of, you said it, chalo. You said so, you have to get punished for it. No, not that way. The boy is so noble. As you see the character of the boy, as you go further, you will understand. He is not that he is trying to take a revenge on this father for him, what he said, but he said, if you have made a statement at the altar, and if you do not follow that promise, it is not good for you. Therefore, I should implicitly follow what you said. As Gurudev writes in his commentary, the boy has implicitly surrendered his own rights for the sake of protecting the father's words. Also, to make the father realize that his miserliness is suicidal. You should not have been giving such a dilapidated cows to the Brahmanas. See, in our tradition, Brahmanas are not those who earn anything for themselves, supposed to be. They were not supposed to have bank accounts. They were not be doing their own commercial activity of selling anything. They should be taken care by the king and others in the society, for they are making these community of people think about God and do noble things. They teach. And therefore, they are not supposed to commercialize their teaching. Knowledge should not be ever sold. That's a tradition. And therefore, Brahmanas are to a pride possession of a country because they are the very source of knowledge. And it is the responsibility of the rest of the community to make sure that the Brahmanas are Brahmana santu nirbhayaha. In our prayer also we say that. Let the Brahmanas live without any fear, for they will be protected by the king and the rest of the people. So here, the not doing that thing correctly is not good for my father. So here, the boy has understood, I have to go do this. But then he was wondering, my father has said, go to death, or I will give you to death. Did I do anything wrong? that my father had a kind of a dislike for me? Is it out of frustration did he say, or he really disliked me? This is one question he had. Second is, what god of death is going to do with me? If he gives a cow at least some usefulness, he said, what am I going to do with it? What is the connection between me and the death? So he started to think. What did he think? That's it here, next verse. Bahunamemi pratamo. Bahunamemi madhyamah. Kim svit yamasya kartavyam. Yanmayadya karishyati. Emi means I go. Yehi, you go. Eti, he or she goes. Emi, I go. I go means Bahunam, among many people, many students probably being taught by my father. Aham Bahunam Emi Pratamaha. I happen to be, I think, one of the top students. Or even if it is not, at least I am a Madhyama. Bahunam Emi Madhyama. But definitely not Adama. I am not a stupid. I am not foolish. I am not one who does not obey or listen. See, who is Uttama Adhikara, Uttama Shishya? One who is able to do things before even the Guru thinks about it. Intuitively, one who understands what the teacher wants and then does is Uttama Pratama. Intuitively, he understands. And many people may not have the tuning with the teacher. So they have to be told. Instructively, they know it. They are called Madhyama. But even after telling you don't do it, that is called indolent. 3 I's. Intuitive, instructive, indolent. Batao 100 times you say, हाँ, kal karta hu. That's what I tell people. Sevaks, best people are those who understand what you need and immediately, even before you think, they do it. Servants, even when they do only when you tell them. Third category, even when you tell, they won't do. They are called volunteers. Abhi aap batao. But we do the way we want to do. And whenever we want. And we have to deal with volunteers all the time. So I said 10 things, they may probably do 2 things. Probably. So this boy thinks, Bahunamemi Pratamaha. Among the many of the students which my father has, I probably belong to the top category. But also sometime maybe Madhyama, but never the third category. So why is that? Is it that my father is upset with me? Kim svit yamasya kartavyam. Yamasya kim kartavyam maya. Yat maya karishyati. Adya. Today, what is that Yama will have to do with me, and what is that my father will get by giving me to Yama? Adya maya yat karishyati. What will be the result of giving me to the Yama for my father? And what does Yama have to do with me? I have no idea. But if it has come from my father's mouth that I have to go to Yama, there must be a reason. There must be a purpose. There must be, it's considered as Satyavak. It's a truthful words. Is it he is talking Krodavashaduktavan Pita? Is it out of anger, he said, or arthena, with the purpose in his mind? See, even Mahatmas may get upset. Gurudev writes in his commentary very beautifully. Let us say in a television station, let us say in Los Angeles, wherever it is broadcasting something. What is being broadcasted there in the TV station or a radio station is what is being happening there in that place where they are recording it and transmitting it, isn't it? It is not what is happening where you are here, when I am listening from here. It is not what is happening the end where I am listening, where it is being broadcast, correct? In the same way, Mahatmas being completely surrendered to the Lord, when they say something, it is coming from Bhagavan only. Like a flute in the hands of Krishna does not have its own music. Gurudev used to give this as an example. A flute in the hand of Krishna has no music of its own. If at all there is music coming out of it, it is from the Lord's mouth. In the same way, when a guru speaks about something to us, it is not that individually saying that. It's the Lord who is speaking through. So, having thus considered that statement of his father as a command, he only wondered, is there anything wrong with me that's because of which I am being sent to the death, or there is something higher going to be happening for which this is being spoken by my father. As in the case of Sri Rama also, he never questioned Dasharatha. Why are you sending me to forest? Did he ever? He never asked that question. He didn't even ask Kaikeyi about it. Why are you sending me to forest? No. Is that what you want me to do? I am doing it. That's because it's my father wishes it to be so. That is the respect with which Rama proceeded. Never questioned. So because his nobility is that let me follow what is Satyam. Satyavrataya Namaha. Now, but at the same time, this Nachiketa is also aware that my father hopefully is doing the right thing. He is not out of anger, not out of frustration, and so he is going to leave now. He is going to leave the house. So he has taken his probably things etc. within his hand. Now he is addressing his father, who has told him to go to death. Anupashyayata purve pratipashyatata pare sasyamiva martyah pachyate sasyamiva jayate punah. Act in this world with correct judgment. He is apparently talking to his father, asking him to become aware of how to do things in this world, which is basically the Upanishad Rishi is telling us through the words of Nachiketa. In our tradition, it is said, when you do not know what to do in any situation, in our convocation address when we do at the end of the year also we say, if you have a vichikitsa, about doubt about what to do, about karma vichikitsa va, vritta vichikitsa va syat, etadda brahmana sammarshinah, yukta ayuktaha, aluksha dharma kamasyuhu, yata te tatra varteran, tata tatra vartetaha. Esha adesha, esha upadesha. Whenever you have a doubt about what is to be done, refer to either the people of the past, what they did. Anupashya yata purve. Purve anupashya. Purve means people of the past, ancestors, your elders, people who have done the great things in the life. Just check in their life how they did things. That's why we need to learn or understand the life of great saints and masters to find out how they lived various situations in life. अनुपश्य मीन विचार करो. विचार किसके बात में, किसके बारे में? About the conduct of the people of the past. That is the, what you call as the model you have to follow. But it often happens, many people say that, oh, past people, they didn't have present challenges. Correct? Swamiji, present challenges are really, different. Our people of the past did not have this many problems. Do you think so? That's what they said when they were there. Those times when everything was easy, very quiet, and there was no such a stress in life. Children were listening to parents. Oh, never it was. Never there was. It was most ancient philosopher of the Western origin. He said, "I wish children can listen to us." This was 4th century BC. 4th century BC, at that time also. Which is the time when our children ever listen to parents. But anyway, the challenges are different in today's world, one may say. Therefore, the boy is very clear. Pratipashya yata apare. Refer to the conduct and the way the people of the past did, and also refer to the achara of the present great people. अपरे वर्तमान काले. सो कल के बारे में आप विचार करो, आज के बारे में आप आचार करो. तो आचरति, people who are of the present, what they are doing, great people, that achar you follow. About what people have the past have done, उसके बारे में विचार करो. आचार और विचार के बिना प्रचार मत करो भाई. बेजार हो जाएगा. ये समाचार है क्या? विचार करना, विचारणम. Anupashya yata purve. As the people of the past, how they have done. And if you do not have any reference to the past, present people of good values. Be in the satsanga. That is the effect of satsanga. Only when you see or be in the company of people who are doing the right thing, you will know what to right thing to do, even today's world. In present day challenges, how to meet. Many times we follow blindly what all others are doing who may not have any kind of a virtue or value, and we get into the same problem where others are in. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dera pandidam manaha janganyamana paryanti modaha andena niyamana yatandaha. Blind following the blind. He himself doesn't know where he's going. So, anupashya yatha purve pratipashya tata apare. And one may say that if I do wrong, what is wrong? What will happen? In the Sanatana Dharma, this foundation of Sanatana Dharma is based on karma and karma phala. If you remove that aspect of the philosophy,
then you will see everything happening by chance only. Even in this creation, if you say somebody is born in a very rich family, somebody is born in a poor family, on what basis somebody is born there, somebody is born here? Is it the fancy of the Lord? Is it according to the whims of the Lord? Then Lord is not Lord then, he is a politician. He could go according to his own whims. Is it so? So, independent of the Lord, it is the karma that is going on. And according to the one's action, so will be the result in this life or later also. And can anyone stop anybody dying? Even if you sustain for a long, ultimately one has to go. So therefore, this boy is making a statement, Sasyamiva martyaha pachyate. Martyaha manushyaha. Pachyate, perish. Sasyamiva, like corn. He is giving an example. He may be probably looking at a farm there. Oh, corn dekhte rahe ho? Those corns? Yeah. They were not there for few days before. They were born in the yesterday's rain. They just came up. From where? From nowhere? Seed was there, right? Seed came from where? Prior it was put there. Similarly, all of us are born in this world, die and be born, die and be born. Sasyamiva martyaha pachyate, sasyamiva upajayate, avajayate, sasyamiva ajayate punah. Again we come back, again we go, again. But what makes us come and go in what condition decided by what you have done. And what you are doing right now. So, my father, dear father, please realize this. Your action may end, the result does not end here. You may think you have done your right thing, but the result will show whether you did the right thing or not. And the result is not decided by the karma itself. Kartuhu ajnaya phalam prapyate. Karma jadam. Kriti mahodado patana karana. Ishvarena ajnaya karma phalam prapyate. It's due to the grace of the Lord, the result of an action is gained, not by action alone. Giving dhanam, therefore, is not a physical act. Why do we call it as a punya karma? Where is that punya? In the action or the intention? If your intention is wrong, if your action is good, the result is not going to be good. If your intention is right, your action will have to be right. So don't give the gap between the intention and the action. And make sure that your intention is noble and it is expressing as your action. Action does not give result. It is the intention of the action that results in. Sasyamiva martyaha pachyate, sasyamiva ajayate punaha. So therefore here, we are so worried about the future of today only. Kal kya hoga? Kal kya hoga? We never live in the present condition. So one investor, he went to his financial consultant who learned that he's lost a lot of money in this present investment, current investment. So he asked, all my money is lost. The financial consultant smiled and says, no, it is with somebody else. So nothing is really lost. Even as we die, we are getting ready to be there somewhere else. We never disappear. We just cannot become suddenly absent. Even if you are absent here, you are somewhere else. If you are mentally absent here, your mind is somewhere else. Isn't it? Upma kaake abhi so raha hai. That's why I didn't take upma. Somebody says, why are you not having Swamiji? I said, they can sleep, I can't. मैं सो जाऊं on the stage. So, if you say, I am absent, you can never say, I am absent. What do you mean by that? Can you be absent? You can be absent-minded, but you cannot be absent. If you say absent, that means I am somewhere else. I was not there, I was absent. That means I was somewhere else. Similarly, the birth and death are not extinctions. It is absence of expressions. I am not here means in some other form, somewhere else I am going to be, either in the past or in the future. So, martyaha pachyate, they perish physically, but only to become again come back. Ajayate punaha. So, he says to his father, please understand, your karma may be you think you are right, intention. Please understand, nobody ever remains or forever. Everybody has temporary existence only. In this temporary existence, let us do the right thing. And that is important for us to follow. And now, between the 8th verse, 6th verse and 7th verse, there is a big gap. What is the big gap? The gap is that the Nachiketa has entered into the Yama's abode. He has entered into the abode of Yama. And what happens there is the next part of the story, scene number 2. Once our Gurudev went to somebody's house for, his Graha Pravesh. And the man was very eager. Everybody he visited him and he invited, and guests were there. And he had a guest book. When you have an occasion, you write. So he brought first thing to Gurudev. Swamiji, write something. New house I am inaugurated and you came. It's such a great blessing. Gurudev wrote, your grandfather would die, your father will die, you will die, and your son will die. So that man took it. Is it a blessing or a curse? Gurudev smiled and said, what do you think? Swamiji, I said, koi nikta nahi. Nobody writes like this. Your grandfather will die, and your father will die, and then you will die, and your son will die. Swamiji, what is it? He says, in this way it happens, it is blessing. Is it not true? If you are very much alive, your son is dead, that is not a good thing. In this way it happens, that is called blessing. That's all I mean. So, death is inevitable. If somebody says, you will die, I know that. It's not a curse. Anyway, so here, when it is said, now Nachiketa went to death, it does not mean he died. He went to the abode of death. And he being a Brahmana, a man who has a boy who has earning for knowledge, is also a Brahmana. And a Brahmana is referred as Vaishwanaraha, like a fire. So the next verse, the Brahmana entered the abode of Yama. Vaishwanaha pravishati atitir brahmano grihan tassedam shantim kurvanti Hara Vaivasvatodakam. Saha Yamabhavanam Gatva Tisro Ratrihi Uvasa. This boy, having entered the abode of Yama, found that Yama was on a lightning call. He is on call. He is not an oncologist, but he was on call. For 3 days he was out. So when he learned that the Yajaman, the man of the house is not there, the boy stayed in the house, maybe in the veranda of the house, 3 days without eating, anashnan. And when a Brahmana is there at home not being fed, he is like a fire. Vaishwanaraha. Vaishwanaraha means Vishwasya Naraha Vaishwanaraha, meaning the one who is available same to all, that is fire. Vaishwanaraha Brahmanaha Atitihi. This Brahmana who is like a fire is an Atiti. Atiti means one who does not give you date and comes. It's called Atiti. Guest. You tell and you go, that's different. But if you don't inform and go, then become Atiti. So Atitihi Brahmanaha Grihan Pravishati. When he enters into the home, he is like a fire. And that is the reason why, even as sannyasina, when they enter anybody's house, they offer water. You know, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagene. First thing I will notice is open and see whether there is water at all or not. Many times they don't put the water because it's become heavy. And the coconuts also standing like this, and it's almost, and the coconut also should have water inside that, not the dry one. So the water is there for what purpose? To appease the heat. Tasyaitam shantim kurvanti. Etam shantim kurvanti. The fire has entered. And you have to appease that fire. How you can appease the fire? Only with water. Right? Do anything else, talk to it. I think, fire, you please stay somewhere and don't come anywhere near me. It won't listen. Do anything else. You have to appease it only with the water. Therefore, Hara, the people at the home, Yama's home, who were all maybe counselors or his wives, whatever, they, as soon as Yama came back to the home, the first thing they said, hey, there is a Brahmana waiting for you. For the 3 days he did not eat and he is standing like a fire. Go, take water, Hara, Vaivasvata Udagam Hara. Hara means Ahara. Bring water, make sure that you offer to this Brahmin boy and appease him first. Even when we do puja, Padyoho Padyam Samarpyami, Argyam Samarpyami, Achamaniyam Samarpyami, Snapayami. All these are all with water only. First thing that you need to do. After asanam, giving the asana, make sure that the Bhagavan is given water to clean completely. So, Vaishwanaraha Pravishati Atitihi Brahmano Grihan Tasyaitam Shantim Kurvanti Hara Vaivasvata Udakam. As I said, Vaivasvata is Vivaswan Putraha Vaivasvataha. The sun, and Yama is the son of the sun. Just like sun is the Kala, Yama is also Kala only. Yama is Kala. Kala means what? One meaning is he is the end of anybody's karma. And sun is the one who determines the karma, Kala, time. Right? So here, hey Vaivasvata, oh Yama, please take water and appease this boy. If you don't, what will happen? If you don't appease a Brahmana with the proper water, etc., traditionally it is said, he will probably, because of that very negligence, so called, he can destroy all your wealth. This is not to threaten anybody, it's a tradition to understand we must have Atiti Sevanam proper. Atiti Upachar is considered very important in our Indian tradition. Sometimes they do the hospitality in such a way, the person has to go to hospital at the end of it.